So this is the chassis for your robot. So you just cut the tape off, open it up. So you have your user manual. You can follow that if you want, or you can make it up. Depends on whether you want it to work.
It's like instructions to put together the chassis?
Yep. We deviate slightly from the instructions because we found a technique that works better in areas where you have limited tools.
Okay, and before we start, how long do you think it'll take us to build the chassis?
It should take you about 6 hours to build a chassis with about 4 students. So you have your 6 wheels, various greases and gearbox parts. There's 2 gearbox per robot. Your sprockets, your belts, stickers, and various parts of your robot chassis. You also have your bearings, nuts and bolts, churros, plastic spacers, and brackets and hubs.
So that's the final box.
This is everything. Now this looks like a lot of stuff, but you're going to be cutting it down to size, so your robot's not going to be this big. So depending on the rules of the year and which configuration you want, your robot will be in different sizes. So if you look at your manual, see how we have long, square, and wide chassis.
Yep.
So
this stuff here, we have 3 options with these instructions.
Yes. Now as it is this, if you put it all together without cutting everything, it's too big for the game.
So we do have to do some cutting.
You do have to cut it down. So we're going to go with a long chassis.
Okay.
We normally use long chassis for beginning teams because it's the most stable robot base and it gives you the most amount of area to work on.
Yep.
To put stuff on top of.
Okay. So we made a decision, long chassis.
The other advantage of going with a long chassis is you only need to cut down these 2 pieces as opposed to cutting down the 4 pieces here, which saves you time and effort. It's also easier to mark and cut this than it is to mark and cut those.
Gotcha.
So it's a good idea to go through and make sure you have all the parts that it says you should have, because the last thing you want to do is get halfway through construction and find you're missing a bearing.
Okay, so we're starting to build the chassis, but one thing I want to make sure everybody understands is that you should always wear safety glasses. Even though I'm a novice, that's one thing they've taught me, always wear safety glasses.
So we're going to start with the wheels. Now there are 2 types of wheels you'll need to construct. The first type, which are the outer wheels, you make 4 of, and the center wheel you make 2 of. So this here is your basic wheel. And what we're going to do is we're going to add these belt pulleys onto the side, and then we're going to add some bearings. So what we do is you get your belt pulley and you line up the little keys. They're 180 degrees apart. Join them together so there's no gap in the middle. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take your wheel, doesn't matter which side, and you're going to place it down with the holes in the cog, lining up with the holes in your wheel. You're then going to take your 10/24 screw and your 5/16 socket or spanner, and you're going to start tightening all these in. Now these are self-tapping screws, so you're going to have to push down hard to start till it begins biting into the plastic. Once it starts, it becomes really easy and you can just tighten it up. It's a good idea to not tighten it up all the way on one side. So what I suggest is you do one side loose and then you go to the other side and then you keep going so that way it clamps evenly down on the wheel. Otherwise you might find your sprockets on an angle because you've over tightened one side to the other. Now if you have multiple sets of sockets or spanners, this is a good way of getting your students busy on the first day. You have 6 wheels, so you can have 6 students potentially working on wheels at the same time. So we're just going to go ahead and do all this, and then we'll come back to the next step. So for the two center wheels, you're going to want to put 2 sets of sprockets on either side. So go ahead and do that now. On your center wheels, on one of the pulleys, you put the pulley down, then you get this little part here, line it up with the holes, and then you'll need to use a bit of force and push it in. It might help to turn upside down and push down on it. And then you go ahead and screw it in like you did on the other side, but now you're just clamping down the metal. So on your outside wheels, the ones with 1 set of pulleys, you're going to get 2 bearings with the smooth surfaces the whole way around, and you fit that in the recess, just in there, and then you pop it in, then you turn it over to the other side and do the same thing. So this side's a little bit harder. If you need to, just get it onto a table, push it down, and it should pop in. And they should be free, not rattling.